On December 22, 1987, Dover, Arkansas resident Ronald Gene Simmons began making phone calls to his children, arranging for them to visit him with their own families over the holidays. While this would be wholesome under ordinary circumstances, Simmons had something alarming in mind. The most frightening crimes that happened on Christmas. Over the next several days, as his children and their families arrived at previously scheduled times, Simmons began methodically killing each group as they showed up. This bloody work took 4 days, and by December 26, Simmons had killed 14 members of his own family, lining their bodies up in neat rows. On December 27, Simmons merely sat at home, drinking beer and watching TV. December 28 saw him back at his rampage, though. He traveled to the nearby town of Russellville. He visited his old workplaces, killing 2 and wounding 4. He also stopped to murder a woman who had recently rejected his advances. At his last stop, Simmons simply sat and waited for police to arrive after his deeds, chatting with workers there. He was found guilty, sentenced to death, and executed by lethal injection less than 3 years later, on June 25, 1990. He was found guilty, sentenced to death, and executed by lethal injection less than 3 years later, on June 25, 1990. He was found guilty, sentenced to death, and executed by lethal injection less than 3 years later, on June 25, 1990.